Hello, everybody. This is Chris A. Moody, and today I am with the one and only JR Murdock.
Hey, howdy, hey, Mr. Moody. How's it going?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Filled with awesome.
That's great. Always great to be filled with awesome.
Yes, it is. It's better than being filled with other things that aren't so awesome.
Yes. So, for people who may not have heard of you yet, why should we have heard of you?
Because I am loud and obnoxious and write a lot of books. I am the author. People always say, I know your name. I've heard your name before. I should know who you are. Well, mainly most people know me from V&A Shipping, and that's one of the earlier Podio books that was out. That was my first Podio book. I want to say I was within the top 50 on Podio books when Podio books first came up. I also did Billy Barbarian, and then slowly drift away from doing Podio books. I also did Golden West, which was part of the Action Pack podcast with Mike Plested and Scott Roche. And other than that, I've just been bopping around here, there. You'll see me pop up like right now. Hey!
Okay. And so, since you stopped doing audiobooks, I assume that means all your other books are on Audible?
I wish they were. I do need to sit down and spend the time to actually be like Paul and Terry and get those recorded and get them out there. But no, they are currently not all out there.
Okay. So, what kind of, if you had to describe your genre, what would you say most of your books fit into?
Most of them fall into, well, speculative fiction. They're going to be mostly sci-fi, couple fantasy, and I've also got some urban fantasy, some middle grade urban fantasy that I've done. I've also done regular fiction. I'm trying to figure out where Paradise Palms would fall in there. It's a time travel murder mystery. So it's hard to really pin down what I write specifically, but I kind of cover as much as I can.
Okay. And of course, all of these books have to be approved by your favorite daughter.
Yes, they're all approved by my favorite daughter. I first one that I actually published in print was Estelle, and that one she's been bugging me for years to finally write the Ding Dong sequel and the completion of the trilogy on that one. She's like, "Where are the last two books?" Just kind of left everyone hanging on that one. Bad dad, bad dad.
Yeah, it's really hard to. I would imagine it's hard to sell the first book if you don't have the other two ready to go.
Yes, and that's a lesson that I've learned with my writing is I had anticipated going, oh, I'll just release the first in a series in a bunch and see which one sells first. Well, that was my silly mistake. I should have written the first book in this series, then the second book, then the third book, and gotten a series going before I started doing a second one, and then had them both going at the same time. Instead, I did the first in a bunch of different series, and there's no real continuation. And then I finally did V&A Shipping 2. Now V&A Shipping 1 and 2 are getting some attention. And I've got the Giant Robot Planetary Competition, Orphan, which falls into the V&A Shipping universe. So I've got 3 books at least in the same universe, and I'm working on the Giant Robot Planetary Competition Book 2.
Okay. And then whatever happened with the story you were doing for the when you were podcasting with Scott Roche and
Golden West. I did eventually write Book 2 in Golden West, and I do need to finish the third, which will be the final in that series, and complete that trilogy.
Okay. So are these hefty novellas, or are they novels, or?
It all depends on how you evaluate them. The first Golden West book comes in around 55,000 words. The second is right around 65,000. Most people nowadays are saying if it's over 50,000, it's a novel. So they're light novels. When you get to V&A Shipping, books 1 and 2, Giant Robot Planetary Competition, those are all between 80 and 90,000 words. Those are definitely novels. Paradise Palms is almost 110,000 words. Definitely a hefty novel in that one. And I keep getting the same complaint from people, no matter which one they read. I hate you. I started reading this. I'm like, well, I'll just read one more chapter because my chapters are between 3 and 5 pages long. Well, I'll just read one more chapter. Just one more chapter. Just one more. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I hate you. Why am I still awake reading your book? And that seems to be a common complaint that people have with my writing is it's reads very fast because the chapters are so short.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast a couple of days ago, and they were saying that I can't recall which famous author it is, but each of his chapters just accomplishes one item on his list, and then he goes on to the next chapter.
Yep.
So it's not uncommon for his books to have like over 100 chapters.
Yeah, and I know Dan Brown does that as well, but Dan Brown focuses on usually one viewpoint and then the villain viewpoint. And my books, I normally focus on 2 or 3 main characters and then the antagonist. So I'll have between 3 and 4 viewpoints that I'm rotating between, which is why I frustrate people because I'll read a chapter from this character's viewpoint, I jump to this character's viewpoint in the next chapter. Now I'm focusing on the villain, and every time I do that, I'm leading into something else and makes you go, hold on a second, wait, what's going on back here now? And I enjoy doing that, really leading people along, leaving a little trail of crumbs to follow, and just yeah, I'm mean.
Okay. So, what got you started with the idea of writing?
Wow. I'd always been fascinated with reading because when I was younger, I was dyslexic. So reading to me was a challenge. I had to go really slowly to try and figure the words out because my brain would transpose letters. And to a point, it still does, where once I finally learned to read faster, my brain doesn't transpose letters as quickly the faster I read. So reading to me became fascinating, and the more stories I read, the more ideas I got for things that I could write. A lot of what I really started getting into was in high school playing Dungeons and Dragons. And this is your typical story. Hey, our characters are really fun. I should write a book about this. So I did. And then I wrote a second and a third and a fourth. Never released any of them, but I have gone back since and rewrote the first book because I feel the characters in the story are interesting, but it's not based on our adventures. It's just taking the characters and writing a story around the characters. So it's somewhat different than a lot of the Dungeons and Dragons books I hear people write, where they literally take the DM storyline and here's what happens to our characters, and we're going off and fighting these goblins, and we're going off and fighting kobolds, and no, it's not like that. I actually created a world, I created a magic system, and I put the characters into it. Yes, they're our D&D characters that we played, but it's only their personality and their actual physical forms, not not hit points, not, oh, this is a fighter and this is a cleric, and nothing like that. Once I started getting that bug and started creating stories, it seems the more you create, the more you want to create, the more ideas that you get, and it just feeds into itself.
All right. And which book is that?
That would be Of Gnomes and Dwarves. So if you do look on my website, I do have a book cover out there for it, and it says coming soon. It says coming soon because I haven't gotten around to editing yet, and I need to do that. It's one of those that it's my baby. I'm real sensitive about it. I don't want to put it out there, but I know the writing is done. I just need to edit it, polish it, and get it out.
Okay. Yeah, looking at your website, I see you also have quite a few things on Wattpad. Has that helped you at all, you think, or?
I do have some of my stories out there on Wattpad. I've got VNA shipping out there, and I've got a number of short stories out there. No, it's hard to get people to go there unless you're really, really popular or you're really good at driving traffic there. A lot of people don't find you, so I'm having a hard time getting traffic over there. I know Mike Plested had some good success with his books. I believe he put Galaxy Billies out there. Galaxy Billies and one other one. I'm trying. Scouts of the Apocalypse, I believe he put out there also.
Okay. Well, I see Zach Mann has given us a couple of questions from Facebook for me to ask you.
Hey.
His first question is, when is the next season of the Action Pack podcast coming out?
I don't know. We keep the domain up. I know Mike is working on Scouts 2. The holdup there is obviously not me. As I said, I've already written the second book for Golden West. I've got both of those written, ready to go. I need to record it, obviously, and start getting the season ready. Mike had a lot going on. He essentially got all the rights back to all of his books, and he and Jeff Height started out their own publishing company. So for the past year and a half or so, he's been busy re-editing the books, getting new covers, getting them cleaned up, getting permissions back for the short story anthologies to republish those. It, Plus, he's been working on getting his Murdock 3 out. So he's been very, very busy. And he hasn't gotten around to getting Scouts 2 written yet.
Okay.
So, like I said, I do have Golden West 2 available. Unfortunately, we got a hold up with Mike because he's got a lot going on.
All right. And his second question is, now that you live in Southern California, do you miss living in the United States?
Southern California is paradise. I actually grew up in Minnesota and I lived in Colorado for a long time. So both of those states, very heavy snowfalls in the winter. I don't like the snow anymore. I now live in Southern California and I couldn't imagine living anywhere else. I found paradise. I'm happy. I'm good here.
Yeah, there's as listeners may know, I'm currently living in Houston, and I've now been like this month. I think 80 is the low.
Yeah, I saw Paul Cooley post the other day. He also lives in Texas, and he posted, "It's 91 degrees. You know when that feels cool, it's been way too hot."
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, and it's also really bad when it's 80 degrees and you would say hooray, but it's 3 a.m. and you're afraid you'd wake everyone.
Oh, yeah, we had our bout of Santa Ana winds, which bring in the 109, 110 degree temperatures. So, fortunately, that stopped.
Yeah,
I'll be right back. One moment.
Okay.
I think the missus is home. The dogs are going crazy.
Ah.
I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Okay.
My apologies.
No problem. And for the live stream, I could entertain you for a little bit. Although there's no viewers right now. Hopefully I'll remember to actually cut this out of the edited one. Yeah, hopefully that will happen. You're muted.
I'm back.
You're back.
Okay, where were we?
We were talking about how Texas is having 80-degree lows for the month.
Oh, yes, and that we should be skiing down the slopes of the Andes instead of hanging out in this hot, hot weather.
Yeah. Sometimes I really miss living in Torrance. It was nice and cool there.
Yes, Torrance is close enough to the ocean that you're getting some of that breeze, and I'm about 25 miles from the ocean where I'm at, and San Diego's the high desert, so we'll either get nice, cool ocean breeze or we get the hot, hot Santa Ana winds, and there's very little in between.
I was clicking on your website and I found a bug, if you want to know.
Hey, what'd you break?
If you click on the Emperor, if you click on the picture of the Emperor Fists,
Hmm.
it shows you a broken picture.
Well, that's not good.
No, it's on the of Gnomes and Dwarves website. So how was it working for T and PJ?
It was great working with T and Pip. We had a great fun getting that story written, and I every so often I see a copy sell and makes me happy, makes me smile. Nice to know that that's still selling out there. And it's been 4 years ago, I think I wrote that one.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was a great experience. T and I really, I got the story hashed out, and we passed it back and forth, and gave it a real good clean edit, and I was very happy with the story. The story is actually about the Terracotta Army in China. So
So you came up with some magic spell that brings them to life.
no, they just came to life and started chasing them.
Oh, okay.
No magic spell. They were trespassing on the first emperor's uh, tomb, and their Terracotta Army is there to protect the emperor, and that's what they did. They got up to go protect the emperor.
Alrighty. So, will there be any more of the My Teacher Is a series?
If Jay can get off his duff and start getting stories out, absolutely there will be.
Okay. So is it just because the money's not high enough to get to be worth your time, or?
No, it's just that Jay, a lot of personal issues happened over the past year and a half, 2 years, um, and that really shut down my brain creatively. And I'm working right now to get everything flowing again. A lot of things I now have finally getting sitting down every night, writing a few words, building myself back up, realizing that yes, I can still do this. I wanted to start writing one of because they're short. They're only 20,000 words. I figured, hey, I can crank out one of those in a week, and I could do one of those a month if I really put my mind to it. Like I said, unfortunately, personal issues happened, and I didn't get back to those. But people that review them love them. They enjoy them. I've had people give me great responses to them. So I know people enjoy them. It's just a matter of getting more of them out there. But definitely, I want to continue that series. I want to continue them all the way through high school. It actually starts out with him in eighth grade in the first two books, and then he goes in the ninth grade into the third book.
Okay. Um. Okay. So, any ETAs to when your current work will be dawning on the internet?
I'm currently working on Pilot, which is the Giant Robot Planetary Competition 2. The reason I'm working on that one is because next month I will actually be in a story bundle with Terry Mixon, Kevin J. Anderson, Dean Wesley Smith. A lot of great authors are going to be in that bundle, and I'm very excited to be in that bundle with them. So it'll be
A
fun.
sports bundle?
Yeah, it's a story bundle. So it's storybundle.com, and you can go check out what their other bundles they have. But this particular bundle is being done by J. Daniel Sawyer. He wrote a book specifically for it. Dean Wesley Smith wrote a book specifically for this bundle. So there's brand new books in this, as well as others that are currently out there. What the entire bundle is based off of is sci-fi sports. I actually got a call from J. Daniel Sawyer, and he said, "Hey, Murdock, you got anything that's sci-fi sports?" Well, let me tell you about the Giant Robot Planetary Competition. And it just sort of worked out perfectly. He's like, hey, I got to have that book in my bundle. Make sure that gets to me.
Okay. And okay, so listening to Dead Robot Society, I know the deadline's coming soon for that. Hopefully it's almost done.
I'm about halfway through, and I need to power through and get the rest of it done, hopefully before the end of the month. The bundle actually drops on the 15th of next month, so that'll give me 2 weeks to clean, polish, edit, cover it, format it, and get it ready to go. And get it dropped, hopefully before the bundle is out there.
Yes, that would be nice for it to be done beforehand.
Yes. Or at least during the bundle period.
Okay. And so will that be something you reissue after the bundle, or?
No, it'll be out there. Just I don't plan on changing the first book at all. The second book, as I said, that'll hopefully drop either before or during the bundle period. So hopefully next month I'll have a new book out finally. It's been a while.
Okay. Well, what I meant was I thought the bundle got its own. There will be one. The bundle one will be saved part of the bundle, right?
Yes, it'll be well the bundle when you buy a bundle from like storybundle.com, you get all the individual books. You don't get like one large book with everything in it.
Oh,
So
okay.
you actually get all the individual books.
Okay.
The missus says hi.
Hello.
This is my wife. And my dinner just showed up. I got fish tacos. Yay!
So should we? Well, okay. Well, then on that case, it was nice being able to talk to you again.
Oh, we got time. The tacos are hot.
Okay.
And it's hot here. It won't get cold.
Yeah, here they were yesterday. Someone from the news station was showing it was almost hot enough to cook cookies on the cement.
Yeah, yeah. I've actually seen where you get that nice black pavement. It will get hot enough you can literally fry an egg on it.
Yep. So, just because every author loves to answer this question, where do you get your ideas from?
You see, I have this bag, and I like to dig in that bag, and um, I believe I'm like a couple other authors I've actually heard the response from. I believe Neil Gaiman said it best, whereas where don't I get ideas from? Literally, I can get an idea from anything, from anywhere. I wrote a story a long time ago called Freeway Man, and people are asking me, where did you get an idea for that? I actually was driving to work one morning. It's dark out at 5 o'clock in the morning, and there was a man on the side of the road sitting in a folding chair with a cooler next to him. Well, how can you not write a story about that? So everyday experiences can just throw an idea at you and give you something to work with. It's once, as I said earlier, once you actually start creating, you see stories everywhere you go. It's just a matter of getting that first story out. Doesn't matter how good or how bad it is, because as you're writing it, you'll have 10 more ideas. And once you get done, you'll have 10 more after each story you finish going, oh my gosh, I can do all these stories. And it's hard to rein them in and go, nope, 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 keep them contained. Just these stories, just these stories.
Yeah, I constantly run into that. I'll be all excited about one story, and I start working on it. My brain will say, "Oh, what about this?"
Yep, yep. And I see you posting on the Dead Robots forum all the time, and it's like, Chris, no, go back to the other one you had. Finish that one first. And that's where ideas like that, it's good to write a lot of short stories, and that'll really get you going. If you ever have trouble finding ideas, write a flash fiction story. Write something that's 1,000 words long. Your next one, write something that's 2,000 words. Then go to 3,000 and just slowly build up, or write 10 1,000 word stories. You wrote 10,000 words, you have 10 stories written. Each one of those stories could be expanded on, and you can rewrite it as a 5,000 word story to expand the idea a little more. Short stories are a great way to get little ideas out there that could potentially build into a bigger story. And it's really easy to start writing a short story and realizing, oh, I just wrote the first 3 chapters of a book.
Yeah,
and you're just getting going on the story, and it's like, yep, nope, this is going to be a book. It's not going to be a short story.
yeah. I hear Paul Cooley has that problem a lot.
Yes, he does. He intends to write a short story, and oh, I guess it's going to be another book, or it's going to be another novella. He actually got caught by the trap of success with The Black, and he wrote The Black, and then he wrote the Paraquel, and then he wrote another Paraquel where it's kind of slightly branching off. It's not a complete sequel, but it's not happening the exact same time as the other story, and he's he got caught by the success trap. Same thing happened with Jake Bible. He started writing one story, and people got to have the next mega, or they got to have the next mech story, and he's not pigeonholed, especially not Jake, because he's doing a book a month. Every single month, another book is coming out. Whereas Paul, he writes a little bit slower, but still, now that he's gone pro, he'll be writing more books. So hopefully he'll get more than just the Black done, and he'll start getting more books out there.
Right. Yeah, well, I was also thinking of like the Dino Rider. It was supposed to be a novella and ended up being a novel.
Yep. Yeah, I can't wait to see that one come out.
Yeah, if it ever does.
It may. That all depends on Sigler.
Yeah.
So Scott Sigler holds the reins on that universe. So he's really the one that will keep that and drop it when he's ready to drop it.
Yep. Which is odd. When I was thinking that would probably also have done pretty well in J. Daniel Sawyer's.
It would have if it weren't proprietary to Sigler's universe.
Yeah.
And that's the only issue, because I know J. Daniel did approach Scott, and Scott said, can't do it. I got hooks into that story, and I can't drop it in a bundle. So.
Well, of course, we could have always gone to Paul and say, hey, can you just take out the GFL?
And Paul might have been able to do that, or he might have been able to do enough of a rewrite on it. So it's hard to say how that would have worked out.
Yeah. Okay. So is there anything, before we did mention your websites, but I don't think we didn't actually say what they were. What are your websites?
I live at jrmurdock.com. I live at ofgnomesandwarves.com. You can also find my stories at audiobooks.com, theactionpackpodcast.com. Actually, I think it's just actionpackpodcast.com. No the in there. You can also find me on Amazon if you search for j.r. Murdock. I am out there on Amazon. I'm currently getting all my books pulled out of the Kindle Select program, so they will all go back to Barnes & Noble, Kobo, Smashwords, all the popular sites. Hopefully I will have that done before the end of this month and get all my books back out there. Beg your pardon?
Barnes & Noble is popular?
Well, for some people it is. For some people that actually buy books there. I know people in England can no longer buy books at Barnes & Noble. Not for the Nook.
Yeah, somehow I don't see them lasting for too much longer. At least not their ebook.
No, I really think that they're pounding their own nails into their own coffin, and they're pounding them with a very large hammer.
Yep. Okay. So are you also on? Come on, brain, think, brain, think.
Give them hamsters something to do.
Are you also on Kobo?
I will be. I will be once again on Kobo and Smashwords, all these sites that are out there.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, definitely hope we see more works from you in the future.
That's my hope as well.
The audiobooks I've listened to have been quite hysterical.
Yeah, and my hope is to get those redone and get enough recorded to start dropping them out onto the Kindle Audible program. I know Audible is not as generous with the royalty disbursement as it is with the Kindle. So I'm a little hesitant, but I know that people love audiobooks, so I really do need to get those recorded and get them pushed out there.
Yeah, well, definitely. I know some people, once they get out on Audible, they say they usually make more money on Audible than they do off of Kindle.
Yep, and that's why I'm thinking, because people go buy the ebook for $2.99, they'll get the audiobook for $1.99, and now you've got them both. Or some people just want to jump straight and get the Audible edition. Hey, got the credits, go get it.
Yep. Although when I was a member of Audible, I wanted to support my friends, but on the other hand, when I knew their books were rather small, it's like, do I really want to put a whole credit on that?
Yep. Yep.
That's why you need a nice meaty book that takes up 10 hours of my listening time.
Oh yeah, or you get Game of Thrones, which will take up I think 32 hours per book, something like that.
Yeah.
Those ones are your meaty books.
Alrighty. Well, um, I think that's all of my questions, unless you had anything you wanted to throw out there to the audience.
What's your next story you're working on? When are you going to get something else out there? I saw that your last novella that you did for the one universe you said was doing really well.
Yeah, in almost a year, it's made almost $200.
Nothing to sneeze at.
No. Um, Currently, the thing I'm working on, I um, I've decided to combine an idea I talked to you about plus another idea. The ranger on another planet.
Okay.
I've taken that idea and decided this planet needs some kind of native inhabitants, kind of make them like kind of American Indian-ish.
Right.
And instead of him coming down to a quote unquote civilized world, he is coming down with the purpose of trying to make it a civilized world. And there will be basically two stories, one story from the native perspective and one story from his perspective.
Okay.
So that's what I'm currently working on.
All right. That's right. Sort of an Avatar type story.
Yeah. I'm just not quite sure how to jump back and forth, because at one point it'll start off talking about the young brave, and then next thing it'll be talking about someone who can talk to his computer. Or the next one will be the character who can talk to his computer, and it'll go back and forth. I'm thinking. I don't know if that'll work or.
You might want to work with when you're working from the native point of view, to try and use simpler words. And when you're working from the person in front of the computer, use more complex sentence structures, complex words to show the dynamic between the native and the ranger technician.
Right. Yeah, so that's what I'm currently working on. The novella for the last few months has only been making me like $8 or $9 a month, which is nice, but it would be nicer if it was bigger.
Yeah, $100 or $200 a month would be better.
Yeah. Yeah, eventually I would like to make my living from this, but I'm a long ways from there at this point.
Well, always remember quantity. Get them out there.
Yep.
You can't get worse at writing by writing more.
True.
It's very difficult. Like I tell my favorite daughter with her art, you can't get worse at art if you do more of it.
Right. Unless, of course, you are just really bad at it to begin with, and
or you're just trying to rush it and you really don't care and you're just being sloppy. So, which does happen with people too.
yeah. Alrighty. So I take it you did read the novella, right?
Yes, I enjoyed it. I think
Cool.
I bought it the first day it came out.
Ah, okay.
You're like, hey, here's my novella, and I'm like, hey, I bought it. I try and do that with a lot of my friends. I try and support. As soon as their book comes out, I'll buy it. I might not read it the day it comes out. I hate Paul because every time I start reading a book by Paul, I end up reading it in one sitting, and like it's like my books. People complain because I sit down and read it, and 8 hours later I'm done, and I'm like, okay, why did I sit down and read that entire freaking book? Why couldn't I space it out? But Paul also has that very adrenaline style writing, where it's like Terry, he's a little more laid back until you get to the action scenes towards the end of his books. So they're more of a slow boil where I can read a couple chapters, put it down, read a couple chapters, put it down, and by the time I get to the last third of the book, it's just like read. Same with Justin, same type of thing with Justin. Very slow boil, and then punchy at the last third.
Yeah.
Jake Bible,
Fortunately,
he just liked to punch in the face the entire time and tease you and slap you. And
fortunately, I don't think my book would have taken 8 hours to read.
no, it was a novella. I believe it took a little over an hour and a half, 2 hours to read. I believe it was about what, like 15,000 words, 16,000.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was definitely a one sitting type of book, but it was at least it wasn't hours and hours to sit down and read through.
Yeah. Someone who actually read the very first version of that said, screw the universe you're writing in, make your own. And I was like, well, I could do that, but there's no way I'm going to have it done by the time I had set up for myself to have it done by.
Yeah, but now you can take those characters and do something else with them, and you can create another novella in that same universe, and that's kind of what I'm saying. Quantity.
Yeah.
If people are buying that novella in that universe, drop another one out there. I know that there are some people, I believe I went and looked, and that have like 5 or 6 novellas in that universe. So it's obviously it's a popular universe. Jump in it, and if you're enjoying that writing, get a couple more out there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the only thing I was comparing about is the bad thing if you do the only bad thing about doing the writing in someone else's universe is whatever profit you would have made gets cut in half.
Yep.
The author of the universe gets half of it. So,
But that's where you're trying to draw people to you. So you want to try and get some out there, so at least you're getting some sales. And then once you get those sales, you want to try and draw them to your fiction.
right, which helps
So
if you have your own fiction there.
yes, you need to get some of yours done. You need to get back
Yeah.
on the Caddisverse.
Yep. Oh yeah, that story.
I think you got what 20,000 words into that one, and then it's kind of well, I know you got a couple short stories done.
Yeah,
And you got a good start on a book.
yeah, and it kind of. I decided I wasn't really mature enough as a writer to write that. I couldn't tell myself it's okay to write this thing, so I decided to put it away for a little bit until I could be able to give myself permission to do that.
Give yourself permission. Just start working on it.
Yeah.
Because
But
you have progressed. So that novella was proof that you've progressed your story writing skills.
yeah. And then I also had what I was going to do as a serial for vampire stories. I'd finished the first season, and someone suggested I finish several seasons before I released them. So in case I decide to change things, I could change them without having to have issues.
Yes, that is a good thing to do, and that's something I'm working on right now. And actually, that's probably something I should have mentioned. I'm actually working on a Star Wars audio drama, and we're currently working on the first season of scripts. So there'll be 6 episodes in the first season, and before we publish and record the first episode, obviously we want to have all 6 episodes done. So in case we need to go back in and make edits throughout the entire thing, we can do that. So script writing is a completely different writing muscle than story writing, and it's harder than I thought it would be. It shouldn't be that hard. I've written stories, but when you're writing a script, you got to think about, okay, now here's what this person's line is, where you would give somebody internal monologue. You don't want to have this big block of description. So you need to have the banter go back and forth a little bit more. You need to have sound effects included. You need to have transitions included. Where's a scene transition going to happen? And then you need to flow from one group of characters to a next. So it's definitely a whole different animal than what I'm used to. But little by little.
Yeah, I did my own hand at doing audio drama, and I have an idea for some more audio dramas, but it also boils down to the idea I found I don't like editing audio all that much.
Well, and that's where fortunately I'm not doing the editing. I'm just doing the script writing, and I'll be assisting with the producer and the casting. So I won't be formally. I might be a voice on it. I don't know yet, But yeah, we've got somebody else that'll be doing all the mixing, doing all the sound effects. I just need to put in a tag, laser blasts, sword fight, pew pew pew. So
So will these be Star Wars from before Disney or Star Wars after Disney?
these will actually be immediately after Order 66 is carried out, and all the Jedi are assumed dead. I'll leave it
Okay.
hanging. I'll leave it hanging on that because it'll be definitely interesting. Hopefully, we'll have a promo done for it before the end of this month. We've got it written. We need to get the recording done. We need the effects and bed music done. We actually do have somebody that'll do the mixing. We have somebody who's going to be doing music. A whole lot going on.
That's cool. And I suppose you're just hoping that Mickey Mouse won't decide to look at you really hard.
Fortunately, because it's fan fiction and we're not going to make any money off of it, everything should slide by smoother than some of these Star Trek fan films. That's
That's
the
good.
big thing. You can't make money off it.
Yep. So, who's the main person, if you are allowed to say?
I haven't actually named the main person yet. I need to get him named.
Oh,
But
no, I'm sorry. I meant the main person of your group.
the main person of our group, his name is Kevin, and Kevin Quado. Gosh, now I got to look up his last name. Where's Kevin? But they wound up changing the address of the website on me, or I would send that to you. Where is Kevin? There's Kevin. Kevin Couto, Couto. And I actually met him from the other audio group I'm working with called the Hounds of Heaven Audio Productions. And we're having a bit of restructuring going on right now. We had a couple of people that had to leave the group for personal reasons, but we're trying to get at least one or two audio dramas out a year, and I'm writing scripts for them. I've converted a couple of my short stories to scripts, and they worked out really well. Fortunately, the short stories had enough dialogue that it was just removing the description tags and putting in sound effects. Went fairly quickly.
Okay. Well, that always helps.
Busy.
Yep. Now you just need to now be busier on writing new stuff and not rewriting old stuff.
Yes. I need to clone myself so one self can be busy rewriting while the other is doing new creation.
Yep. Or even better, one can be at home writing new stuff while the other one is doing the 8-hour 5-day a week job.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's tough to be doing work and conference calls and documentation and training all day long and then switch computers and log on, and then it's time to start writing and typing and staring at a computer for another few hours. And
Yeah,
it's definitely a challenge.
Yeah, I used to do chat support for 8 hours a day, and where I was expected to be talking to 4 different people at a time. By the time I got home, it's like I'm all worded out.
Yeah, your fingers are tired, you're exhausted, your brain's wiped out, and you're tired of dealing with the stupid, and you're like, oh. Not that everyone that calls tech support is stupid, but you do get some very special people who, okay, have you checked the plug to make sure the plug is plugged in correctly? Oh, it's not plugged in. So yeah, I know your pain.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the HP story I heard. Someone was wondering why their printer wouldn't print in yellow, and it went all the way up to the designers of the printers had gotten on the phone call. They were getting ready to have her ship the printer back to find out, and she finally asked, "Would it help if I took out the yellow paper?"
Oh, yep. Yeah, that might help.
What do you know? It prints in yellow. Just doesn't do yellow on yellow very well.
No, it does not.
Yeah, I think one of the oddest questions we had on our website that we hosted millions of domain names. Someone called up who was interested in being a new customer and said, "Yeah, which one can I have?"
Yeah, don't think you understand exactly how this works.
Yeah, so I get to explain that to her, and she said, "Oh, okay. Well, I'll think about it and let you know."
And they never call back.
Well, I don't know. They weren't a customer, so we didn't have anyone know that they did it. But it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, we just buy domain names out of the. We both buy domain names, and we hope we have the one you want.
Yes. Come on, you know you want this domain name.
Yeah, you know you want alldogsgotohell.com or whatever. Let's see.
Anybody else out there asking questions?
Um, no, Zachman. Just I told while you were away, I told Zachman we had asked and answered his questions, and he said he hoped we had some serious questions, and unfortunately, not from the audience.
Oh, well.
Oh well. Okay, so I
Well, I've
guess
got fish tacos over there, so
alrighty. Well,
I'm
you enjoy
assuming you
yourself.
already had dinner since you're a couple hours ahead of me.
Not yet. That's probably the next thing on the agenda.
Fish tacos are really good.
I don't think they're very popular here in Texas. Everything
Oh,
here has to have cow in it.
yep. Well, I've gone. I tell people I'm vegetarian, but I'm really pescatarian, so I do fish and shrimp every so often. That's why I'm having fish tacos.
Okay. Well, I hope you enjoy them, and hopefully sometime soon I'll get to be back in California when we can actually meet up again.
Sounds like a plan.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you for being on my show, and you have a great one.
Yep, we will talk to you very soon, Chris.
Yep.
All right, take care.
You too. Bye.